Hey, ProbStats kids, this is DrCallahan for week 5 Monday, week 5 Monday. That is correct. Week 5 Monday. Go ahead and pause the following uh, v- PowerPoint and answer the following questions. You guys have 3 of them. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and make the video for this week for week 5 Monday. So let's go over to assignments and then we'll do create assignment. Week 5 Monday. Now just put ProbStats Semester 2. And the topic of discussion today is going to be on section 7.1, day 3, part 4. We're going to be learning how to write a sentence on claims supporting the claim or rejecting a claim. Okay. So then your instruction, as always, is to make sure that you guys are viewing the video, viewing the assignment, uploading your assignment onto MS Team, especially if you're there for hybrid, and you get 10 points for that. So here is your instruction. The 2 links that you need are the YouTube channel in addition to the Google Doc for your homework. There are 2 classes for my Prob and Stats. This is due Monday by 3 p.m. and I'm just going to go ahead and assign it. In addition to this, I also have your grades updated. I told you I usually do it every Monday. So today is Monday. So if you check Infinite Campus, you do have your grade posted on there. Now I'm going to go ahead and try to see if I can go ahead and post this on MS Team as well. So that way you guys can see what you guys have. And this will just be based on your student number. Okay. Your class average for 5th period is at a 68.57%. So that's good because you guys did actually increase since last week. So that's a good thing. And I'm also going to be having you guys do this as a comparison for with 6th period. So let's go back to this, go back to MS Teams, Prob and Stats. I'll hit reply. And there is your grade. And the way the grades are actually assigned is that it's a score of 5 to 10. A 5 means that you guys have not really done anything. You haven't checked in with me and you have not viewed any of the assignment, which is not good because that's essentially an F. And then a 6 and 7 means that you view some of the assignments, you uploaded some of the assignments. In addition to that, if you have a 8 or a 9, that means you uploaded majority of the assignments, but there are some mistakes within the assignment that you turn in. And then if you get a perfect 10, that means everything that you've turned in is in perfect shape and there is nothing that is wrong with it. So just keep that in mind. And then of course, this is the breakdown. All right, so you have this for fifth period. I'm going to do the same thing for sixth period, but take a look at your grades right now. It is broken down based on your student IDs. So take a moment, figure out where you are, and see if this is something that makes sense. And if you have any questions in regards to your grade, please go ahead and send me an email, and then I'll be more than happy to check on the status of your report. So for sixth period, you guys have a average of 66.1%, so very close as well. And for most of what you can see, you're probably passing as long as you are checking in with me and showing the class and doing your work. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look over here. So there's your assignment, and I'm gonna go ahead and paste that right there. And also the explanation of how you guys are receiving the grades. All right, so with that said, you guys should have your grades uploaded and updated for everyone. Awesome. Let's go ahead and go back to our lesson for today and continue. Take a look at your warm-up, and here are your answers for your warm-up itself. You're doing this based on two ways. You have horizontal method and also the vertical method. So here is your breakdown. Yesterday, when you guys went over the homework for Friday, you guys had the following. You're supposed to do numbers 37 to 42 all, in which case you were supposed to tell me the null hypothesis and also the alternative hypothesis. There were 6 questions, 2 points apiece from your textbook. Remember the link that I have for the Google Doc? You have the textbook visible on that, so just keep that in mind. All right, and then we had, of course, objective number 4, where you were supposed to go ahead and determine whether you're using a left tail or right tail or a two-tailed statistic for the p-value of the assigned. So let's take a look at this. So with this one here, the first thing we have is the alternative hypothesis is the average is greater than 8. So looking at this, here is your bell curve. This is going to be a right-tailed test, where your null hypothesis is going to be on the left side, and your alternative hypothesis is going to be on the right side, like that. For B, if you look at the alternative hypothesis, it says the standard deviation squared, so that's a variance, is not equal to 142, which is going to be a two-tailed test. So if I were to go ahead and draw this diagram, this is what it will look like. I will have my two tails here in the black shaded region. And that will be the alternative hypothesis. And in the middle will be your null hypothesis. All right, for C, it is said that report says that the mean life of a certain type of automobile battery is going to last only 74 months. So naturally, your null hypothesis is your mean is going to equal to 74 months. And your alternative hypothesis, which is going to counter that, is the mean average life of the battery is not equal to 74 months. And so this is going to be a two-tailed test. So here's my bell curve. On the left and right side are your alternative hypothesis. In the middle is going to be your null hypothesis. All right, so with that said, let's go ahead and get started. This is your breakdown for today. Tomorrow there will be a quiz on this material, so make sure you have your guided notes completed. You are welcome to use your guided notes on the test itself or the quiz itself. Your homework tonight is going to be number 43, 44, 43, 44, and 46 all. You can find this under week 5, Monday, under the Google Doc. So just go to the MS Team, look at the assignment, and you'll see the Google Doc for this class. All right, so let's go ahead and get started then. All right, number 3, it says a cereal company advertised that the mean weight of content of its 20-ounce cereal box is more than 20 ounces. So naturally, your null hypothesis means that the average of the content is less than 20 ounces, as in they're trying to cheat you out of your money. And the alternative hypothesis is it's greater than 20 ounces. So what this means is that this is going to be a right-tailed test where the null hypothesis is going to be on the right side. So then looking at this right here, this is going to be your null hypothesis. On the right side, it's going to be your alternative hypothesis. Next, let's talk about the level of significance. The maximum allowable probability of making a type 1 error is denoted by A. And this one, I would suggest you think about ha, which is your alternative hypothesis. And it's also an alpha, which is the lower Greek letter alpha. By setting the level of significance at a small value, you're saying that you want the probability of rejecting a true hypothesis to be small. And naturally, the commonly used level of significance is going to be at 10%, 5%, and 1%. Statistical test. After stating the null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis and specifying the level of significance. So level of significance, remember, is the alpha A. A random sample is taken from the population and the sample statistics are calculated. The statistic that is compared with a parameter in the null hypothesis is going to be called the test statistic. Which usually are testing for the population mean. So then at this point, this is the chart that we have created before. And if you look at it, there are really 4 different phases that you can decide when you're doing a hypothesis testing. The first phase that you can have is there is enough evidence to reject the claim. There is not enough evidence to reject a claim. There is enough evidence to support the claim. There is not enough evidence to support the claim. So those are the decisions. If its claim is the null hypothesis and you reject it, this is your answer. If your claim is null hypothesis and you fail to reject the null hypothesis, then that's what you write for your summary. So we're going to go over a series of examples and we're going to determine if we can reject or not reject a null hypothesis. And similarly, you do the same thing with the alternative. So let's take a look at the first one. Example 1, it says you perform a hypothesis test for the following claim. How should you interpret your decision if you reject the null hypothesis or you fail to reject it? And the claim is a high school publicized that the proportions of the students who pass the AP exam is 75%. So a lot of you guys are taking AP exams. When I talked to you on Friday, we talked about your class ranking, your cumulative GPA versus your GPA with the AP bonus. So you notice a difference there. 75% is pretty high up there, you guys. I think for most of the classes, I think students that pass their classes usually like 50 to 60%. with the exception of some of the more harder classes, such as like AP Calculus or AP Chemistry, AP Computer Science. I mean, those are just, or an AP Physics, are generally really, really difficult classes to pass. So let's take a look at this. First thing is, if you reject the null hypothesis, and the null hypothesis is that students that pass the AP exam at 75%. If you fail to reject the null hypothesis, it'll just be students do not pass at 75%. So here's what you do. If you reject the null hypothesis, there is enough evidence to reject that the proportion of the students who pass the AP exam is at 75%. And naturally, if you fail to reject the null hypothesis, there is not enough evidence to reject that the proportion of students passing the AP exam is at 75%. All right, let's go on to example 2. Okay, so for example 2, it says reports state that the mean stopping distance of a dry surface for a Honda Civic is less than 136 feet. So once again, what are your statement if you reject the null hypothesis, and what is your statement if you fail to reject the null hypothesis? Given the fact that the null hypothesis from this study is making the statement that a Honda stopping distance is less than 136 feet. All right, so if you reject the null hypothesis, your statement should say something to the effect, there is enough evidence to support the mean stopping distance for a Honda Civic that is less than 136 feet. And then, of course, if you fail to reject the null hypothesis, there is not enough evidence to support the mean stopping distance of a Honda Civic is less than 136 feet. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at example number 3. Actually, we're not going to do example 3. We're going to go to objective number 5, which is on page 19. It says, can you make and interpret a decision based on the results of the statistic test? A and B. So go ahead and pause the video and take a look at the answers here. So pause the video and write down your interpretation. All right, let's go ahead and go over this. The first one is there is enough evidence to support that the mean number of pictures is more than 22. The second one is there is not enough evidence to support the mean number of pictures is more than 22. And when it comes to B, with the sports drink, there is enough evidence to reject that the mean caloric content of the beverage is 72 calories per serving. And lastly, there is not enough evidence to reject the mean caloric content of a beverage is 72 calories per serving. Okay, so next, what I want you guys to do is you are going to practice here with filling out the null hypothesis and also the alternative hypothesis with the following situations. And there are 1, 2, 3, there's 7 of them. And for those of you guys at home, you can go ahead and pause the video, copy this part down, and then just go ahead and write it on a separate piece of paper, Or what you can do is I can go ahead and paste it onto your MS Teams. So you will have that available as well with the screenshot of the questions here. So just make sure you take a look at that. So it is up there already. And then of course, when you are ready to check your answer, you do have that available link on the bottom. So when you click on it, it will take you to this part here, and it will give you the answers to these questions that we are answering. All right, you guys, I hope you have a wonderful week. And as always, stay safe and healthy. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care.